Hello and welcome back to the Proforma Family Kitchen. Today we're inviting you to jam with us.
That's right! If you ever find yourself in a jam, these recipes could be just what you need to impress your guests, family, and friends.
And today we're also going to be making with our jam some thumbprint cookies that we'll be using the jam for, because why buy it when you can make it so much better at home?
So let's get started here. So normally what I do is I'll start with some strawberries. I like to dice them up personally. I know that somebody likes to...
Well, it depends if you want big chunks of it or if you want it smaller pieces. It can definitely speed it up, cutting them up.
See, look, there we go. So now the next thing I like to do is I like to add some lemon juice in the beginning, just with the strawberries, because we're cooking it down. We gotta get that heat up. Okay, so a big thing about this, and in general when cooking, and I really need to make sure I stress this, is safety. So botulism, you probably heard that word. And so if you're gonna can things at home or make things at home, you have to be really careful. And one of the big things is that you store this in the fridge. This is not a shelf jam, shelf stable, you'll hear that. And if you're making a recipe that's shelf stable, go that way, but this is not. So you have been told. And any other things that you want to add? Because I'm really crazy about safety, food safety, especially with this.
Well, a big thing too is when you use your jars, make sure they're properly sanitized. That's a big thing. Anyone would they hear botulism, like you ever see that can that's a little questionable and it's a little bloated, you know what I mean? That's from botulism.
A bloated can?
Yeah, because it'll expand.
Oh.
Yeah. At the same time, if, say, you have these jars and they're all nice and then you see, why are there bubbles forming in it? That's the botulism starting to go.
Gotcha.
But really, jams are super stable in that. The amount of sugar's a great preservative, believe it or not. I mean, they're called preserves for a reason, right? So now that, and it's coming up, or when are we gonna put our sugar in?
Well, so that's coming up very soon, but first, before I even start with that, I'm actually gonna do some of the mashing. So usually what I like to do is, I like to get in there. You are right. All right, sugar, which, I put a little heart in because you guys have my heart.
Oh, how sweet.
It's like my jam. It's just nice and sweet.
Jam on.
All right, so with the sugar, it says it in the recipe. Again, so the sugar, you can actually adjust this based on which fruit you're using. I think that we're not just there yet, but while this is happening, now I know this is somewhat controversial, Chef D, but what I like to do is I actually put fresh basil and I put it in right now and I cook with it. And I know that and I'm not taking it out, I don't strain it. This is from our garden, some fresh basil. I like to use herb scissors. You can use whatever though, you can honestly use your hands. This is a thermometer, so it's really good, it's important because when you're making a jam, you gotta go to that 220. That's like your sweet spot. So that's actually probably the hardest part of this recipe is getting it to 220. That is quite a slog. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You can curse my name, whatever you need to do, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. You just gotta keep going after it and make sure to watch it because you can also end up with a layer of black burnt.
Oh yeah. So we have the jam now. You can see the color. I know a lot of people, they might, even though we think the color looks great, look at the jams you buy in the grocery store compared to this. Now, a big thing that's going to be different is that there's a lot of fruit in it. A lot of those, they can add a little water at the end and thickeners, different gums, adding more pectin to make it set. So it's not as pure. It's more, more sugar and water than anything.
So basically, it's like the best snack to have. Honestly, my favorite thing to have with this is biscuits. Biscuits is where it's at. And honestly, a lot of my story comes from, I just really wanted biscuits.
And you wanted some. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Basil strawberry jam. I could eat that with a spoon. Good sweetness, and that's another thing. If you want yours less sweet, if you want it sweeter, you just adjust. But keep in mind, when it cooks down, then there's a good time to taste the sweetness because it's going to cook down and concentrate. If you have it as sweet as you want in the beginning, you're gonna need an insulin shot with it once you.
This is great. Thanks, guys. I love this, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.
And
Our next recipe comes to us from a little further away. Susan Kudo, the director of key accounts for Blue Generation in New York, has a delicious thumbprint cookie recipe.
So we're gonna start with some butter. We need to cream together our butter and sugar. Mike's gonna be our sous chef for this one.
All right.
Go for it. Now we're doing a handheld mixer just because more people have that at home. Not everyone's got a KitchenAid. Crank it up, bro. I'm gonna add some sugar to that.
Here, I'll hold the bowl.
We love making a mess in the kitchen.
I feel like I'm in the sugar trenches.
All right, pause it for a sec. All right. What I like in this recipe is that it uses brown sugar rather than white sugar that you'll see in a shortbread. And there's even some egg yolks in this, so that's very nice. I'll pass that to you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Keep it going. Mix until they're combined. Wow.
Get in there. Careful.
I'm impressed. I didn't think you'd be able to do this.
I've been training him a lot.
And that's why you wear an apron in the kitchen, Mike.
I don't need an apron.
All right, why don't you use that spatula? We got some vanilla paste. Use that and scoop it out of there for me, would you? There you go.
Wait, I feel like Mike deserves a lick for his efforts. How is
Very
it?
good.
Oh, and that's sweet.
It's okay. You don't have to express it, dear.
That's very good. I'm going to stop cooking and just eat.
And then now that we have these wet ingredients together, we're going to mix our dry. So we have our flour, a little bit of salt in here. There's no baking soda or powder or anything like that in shortbread recipes. That's why a lot of people, when they do like holiday cookies, they do a shortbread because when you bake it, it keeps its shape. So what I have is some finely chopped pecans. I put them in a food processor. We're going to take a scoop of it.
Okay.
You'll see that it's not very sticky because this is a dry dough. And then we're going to roll them.
I thought that was honestly just your chef hands. It's like years of experience. Nothing will stick to him.
And there you go.
All right.
I'm going to put this to the side here. But just to show everyone at home, imagine these were baked for a couple minutes already. You would come in with your thumb. A back of a wooden spoon works good. You want to be gentle because you don't want the cookie to crack. And then you bake them some more, just like the recipe says. These do spread a little bit, like a shortbread doesn't usually, but I think the brown sugar and the egg yolks will do that. Bam! There you go.
That actually worked out really well, timing-wise.
And like I said, why not use the jam that we just made?
Yes, please.
You could do buttercream. You could do your favorite icing if you wanted. But a jam or a preserve or something of that nature is definitely going to be kind of more refined and more traditional.
Fair.
All right, guys, let's give it a try.
Let's dig in.
These are getting Chef D's Bangin' Award. Not that the jam doesn't help. Are these jamming?
They're so jamming. You're jamming with me about these cookies. Wow, these seem like the perfect holiday snack or a perfect anytime snack, anyone?
Sure, for sure.
Thank you so much to Susan, and of course, my wife, Catherine, for their wonderful recipes. And thank you to Chef D for preparing them.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Until next time, don't forget to
Chef it up!